She can enter minds, control people, and freeze an entire city block with a thought. In Spider-Man Brand New Day, Sadie Sink makes her MCU debut as Jean Grey, one of the most powerful and complicated characters in X-Men history. And this is only the beginning. Hey everyone, welcome back to The Movie Hunter. Today we're talking about the character everyone is asking about after Spider-Man Brand New Day, Jean Grey. Sadie Sink's version of Jean is young, traumatized, incredibly powerful, and now officially part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. In this video, we'll break down who she is, what fans are wondering most, and where we might see her next. Before we dive deeper into Jean Grey's MCU future, I'd love your support for The Movie Hunter. Please like and subscribe, it means the world to me. Thanks so much in advance for joining the hunt. Who is Jean Grey in the MCU? Jean Grey is a mutant, born with extraordinary abilities rather than gaining them through an accident or experiment. In the comics and previous films, she is famous for telepathy, reading and controlling minds, and telekinesis, moving objects with her mind. She's also known for the Dark Phoenix saga, one of the most iconic and destructive storylines in Marvel history. In Brand New Day, we meet a younger, more vulnerable version of Jean. She is not yet the polished X-Men hero. Instead, she is a traumatized young woman on the run, using her powers in aggressive and dangerous ways because of what has been done to her. The film presents her first as a threat, then slowly reveals she is also a victim. Now that Sadie Sink has officially debuted as Jean Grey, a lot of big questions are circulating. Here's what we can already piece together. How powerful is this version of Jean? Even in her first appearance, Jean shows serious power. She can jump between minds, control people against their will, and create large-scale psychic effects. She's clearly still learning and unstable, but the foundation of an Omega-level mutant is already there. The real question isn't whether she's powerful, it's how dangerous she becomes once she gains full control. And yes, the shadow of the Phoenix Force is already hanging over this version of the character. Is she heading to Xavier's school? At the end of Brand New Day, Jean leaves New York on a bus heading upstate. Everything about that final image points towards Westchester. Marvel is clearly planting the idea that she is searching for others like her. Whether she reaches Professor Xavier's school immediately or not, the path is being laid for her to become one of the first members of the new X-Men MCU team. Will she show up in Avengers Doomsday or Secret Wars? The classic Fox X-Men actors are already locked in for Doomsday. Sadie Sink's Jean, however, feels like she belongs to the next generation. Right now, the smarter bet is that Marvel is protecting this new version of Jean for the dedicated X-Men reboot rather than throwing her into the multiversal chaos too early. That said, a brief appearance or multiverse variant in Secret Wars still remains possible. How will she connect with other mutants? Jean's trauma is the key to her relationships. Because she has been hunted and used, she doesn't trust easily. When she eventually meets characters like Cyclops, Professor X, or Mystique, those connections won't be instant or clean. Her pain will shape how she bonds with the team, and that emotional complexity is exactly what makes her interesting. Are we getting the Dark Phoenix story? This is the long-term endgame. Marvel didn't introduce Jean this carefully just to keep her as a street-level telepath. The Dark Phoenix saga is one of the biggest stories in X-Men history, and Sadie Sink's version already carries the right mix of power, trauma, and instability. It's not coming immediately, but the groundwork is being laid. Where else can we see Jean Grey? Sadie Sink has confirmed she has already had conversations with X-Men director Jake Schreier about continuing Jean's story. The upcoming MCU X-Men film is expected to be the main home for this version of the character. She could also appear in Avengers Secret Wars or other multiverse projects, but the safest and most likely path right now is a central role in the new X-Men movie that will launch after the multiverse saga. Bringing Jean Grey into the MCU through a Spider-Man movie was a smart and unexpected move. It introduces mutants in a grounded, street-level way, while giving Jean a fresh origin rooted in trauma and systemic abuse. Sadie Sink's performance has already made fans excited for what comes next. Jean Grey has officially arrived in the MCU, and the questions are only just beginning. What do you want to see from Sadie Sink's Jean next? Dark Phoenix? A full X-Men team-up? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe to The Movie Hunter, and turn on notifications for more MCU character deep dives and future theories. Thanks for watching, Hunters. The mutants are here, and Jean Grey is just getting started.